Biscuits and tea.
Welcome into the Kansas City Chiefs podcast. The Kansas City Chiefs podcast is brought to you by Yeti.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, this will come out after we've won the Super Bowl. So, should we celebrate now? Let's celebrate now anyway. Okay. Somehow I feel like the Chiefs would win the the Pro Bowl too, even though that's not possible.
Yeah, no. Well, they changed it this year. It's not a game.
To what?
I think they're doing flag football. They're doing like skill challenges. They're doing a bunch of random stuff.
And Eli Manning and Peyton Manning are the coaches of.
They're commentating. They're coaches.
I think they're like the leaders of the AFC and the NFC. But hey, don't quote me on this. But the Pro Bowl stuff is it's a flag football game. It's a flag football game.
Did we run this by Jerry Jones?
Can't imagine that Jerry's happy about it.
Jerry has been struggling the past week.
Don't.
Jerry has been absolutely struggling. Jerry's been having the worst quotes. He had a quote recently that the Eagles, he's like, the Eagles had to. First, he was talking about the 49ers. Us and the 49ers, we just haven't been able to have success since the 90s. And everyone's like, dude, the 49ers have been to the Super Bowl 3 times in the past 15 years. You guys, the Jags have more NFC championship appearances than you guys do in the last.
It's not very American.
And then he was saying the Eagles. He's like, the Eagles had to completely empty the tank to get to the Super Bowl this year. The Eagles have 2 first-round draft picks, and they have the 9th youngest team in the NFL. And
he's struggling.
He's really struggling.
I mean, the Cowboys have a really good team, and they normally have a good team. And Dak Prescott is normally pretty good, but I just don't know if he's the guy. I don't know if he's the guy to take him to the promised land, and they just keep kind of choking. I mean, ever since Tony Romo dropped that ball on the Seahawks game in the playoffs where he was going to set the ball for the kicker, and he dropped it, and then they should have went to the Super Bowl that year. But, yeah, Cowboys... yeah, it could have been. It just seems like, that really has stayed with them in terms of them choking in the playoffs.
I'm guessing in the 90s, though, they were choking the whole time. I don't know what they were doing in the
that didn't matter. It didn't matter in the 90s. All we knew was that you turn on that fucking TV, you root for the Cowboys, and you root for America against the Russians. Yeah. That's what you knew about. That's the only reason I know who Jerry Jones is because that was America's team. That's it.
Wasn't the 90s when they were really good though? They had Emmett Smith and
Troy Aikman.
Yeah, they were that's when they won. I thought, but
I don't know. I can't remember if they won, but
they won 3 Super Bowls or something, right? I don't know.
Did we is that how it went? Is just the Skins had a dynasty and then it passed them on?
I don't know who
Cowboys?
The Skins are. I don't know who that
is. We won 3 and 5.
I don't know who that is.
That's who. Hey, this is facts. You can't just you can't erase history.
Erase history.
We were
the Confederates. Called the South the Confederate Army or the Confederacy. we shouldn't call them America.
No, we can't
erase history.
We can't. We can't say it. We got 96 and 93 and 94. They won.
So that is because we had 88, 89, 91.
Oh, that's pretty big.
Just NFC East just dogging people those years.
Yeah, you guys were the NFL of the 80s and 90s, and it is now almost 2030. So it's beautiful that Kansas City has come out on top.
How were we back then? We weren't good in the 60s. Was the last time we won, right?
1969, when the first or second year that the league was even around. They were smoking cigarettes on the sideline, and
do you know in football, soccer, we were smoking cigarettes last year. That shit hung around real long time.
What are the benefits?
What do you mean? Oh, the coaches were smoking on the sideline.
Biscuits and tea.
I've got a list in front of me that I'm about to share. And I want you guys to go ahead and look at this.
Okay.
I want to know if it's there. I don't want you guys to see that. If you guys can tell me even one of the women in the top 5 richest women in 20 23 in the world. I don't think, and you guys should know at least 2 of them.
It's
Incorrect,
one
sir.
of them is
Incorrect, sir.
whoever Bezos' wife.
Tyler is on the board.
Damn
Tyler's
it.
on
That's
the board
what I
with number
meant.
4.
No, wait. Bill Gates and what's her name got divorced too.
She's not. Sorry. That
But she
money's
took
not
that
what it used to
cash,
be.
baby,
Microsoft.
right?
Microsoft's not what it used to be. Not in the top 5. Sorry.
But Bezos,
Yeah.
what's his wife's name?
Mackenzie Scott, I think, is her name.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah. So
And,
her and
think of, obviously you guys could be thinking of families, right? I mean, this money isn't just like, they didn't just come up with this money. This is money that's been around.
Oppenheimer.
So you guys need to, no, I don't think so.
I know what list. I'm annoyed because I know what list you're looking at, and I can't remember any of the names. I've seen it.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a shopping
a Walmart.
dynasty. There you go. B's on the board. The Walmart lady is number 2.
I'm telling you, Amazon better watch out for Walmart. That's all I gotta
Really?
say. Oh
I know.
yeah, baby.
I know
Walmart
around number 8 or 7, there's someone with a G for their last name, like Greta, Grahina.
I don't know. I haven't looked past the top 5.
Wait, you've seen this list?
I recently saw something. I saw a list of it might not be the same one, but I saw something floating around.
All right, I knew the number 1 only because of my proximity here in Europe, but I couldn't remember her name. Francois Bettencourt. All right, French. Member of the Bettencourt
74
family.
bill.
Okay. Yeah. Alice Walton. That's B. Walmart.
I saw something
There you go.
that I think this isn't. Obviously, it wouldn't be much like different with the men. I don't think a single person on this list is like self-made or considered self-made. There
Out
was
of the
someone
women?
who they originally counted, but then they got like 50 million to start with. So,
So that.
Oh my god.
so I don't know.
I mean, these are the richest. It doesn't have anything to do with how they got it.
No, I know.
It's just, you just check their accounts and all right, this
Koch
chick, I don't-
family.
Yeah. So
They
they
are I think they're a Kansas and Missouri family.
Okay.
The Koch
Well
family.
done.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how much they're loved though. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know anything about these people. That
Mackenzie
was part of
Scott, Jacqueline
Honestly,
Mars.
I
43
think I would
billion.
only hit like the 3 out of the men. Maybe 4. I don't know.
mean,
Like, is Buffett still
we
there?
talk about
Like,
the men more,
but it's really
Yeah,
just
I
there's
don't
like
know.
3 of them that have just been shoved in your face forever.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Looking past the top 5, I don't even.
Gene,
I'm not
maybe
sure who these
no,
people
not
are.
Gina Reinhardt. No, I don't.
The Mars chick is like she's from the candy bar company.
Yeah. Okay, but that doesn't mean anything to me. I don't. You haven't looked at who's running the Mars.
It's ridiculous.
When's the last
It's
time you had a
crazy.
Mars?
Is Mars even the company?
I'm actually in. Go ahead.
Does 22 billion seem like kind of low for the
For number
bottom?
9,
Yeah, for number 9,
Well,
10.
women.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really? You think
Like an
there's
individual has
more
22
people?
bill?
I mean, all you
Uh,
would. Women live a lot longer than men in general, so I'd assume a lot of. I don't know. It just takes like a super, super rich person just to die, and now you're.
Yeah, but they're not passing it on to the women though. It can't be. The companies are owning it, and then men.
But don't they like still?
then-
Wouldn't they still kind of be like the? They might not be running it or anything, but still like the owner. Like it's their asset.
I see a few of those. There's a few inheritance here, clearly, but like, it can't just always be the case. I don't know. And what's the deal with Warren Buffett giving all his money to Bill Gates when he dies or something weird like that? You know about that?
No, maybe he
Oh,
just
yeah.
doesn't want to have to deal setting up a charity or something. He's like, you just deal with it.
He's pledged it all to their foundation or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's exactly
I
what
don't-
it is.
I'm just saying. Anyway, so it's just, I don't know.
Biscuits and tea.
And we're going to go ahead and chat about a 29-year-old that posed as a teen to enroll in high school. And I know that we've talked about this maybe a few other times on the show where we have some adults that find their way.
Is this a different
back into school? Yeah, this is a.
Wasn't the other one? Wasn't she like 36 or something?
She was way older.
She was really old.
Was she trying to get into school? No, she was trying to like get people to sign up for like follow her on Instagram or something.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, she was trying to get follows or something. To go to public school, does it not cost any money? Can you just show up? You just like register and show up?
I don't know.
I think it's like
I don't know.
Pay your taxes. I think you have to show and like show your address and show that you pay your damn taxes so you can go to school.
You bring a 1099.
So proof of guardianship is not needed to immediately enroll. So like kids can just walk into a school and be like, hey, I need to go to school.
I mean, that makes sense because then what if you have a parent that's like, you can't go to school or like you can't, or like you don't have, if you're like homeless or something. I mean.
And they go to school week in, week out.
Yeah.
And then what? And then they pay 40 grand to go to college? Like how do we
assume
do this?
If you were homeless and you were going to school, that you're probably pretty motivated and you'd be probably, I would assume, hopefully doing, I don't know, it'd be hard to do well in school though
I mean, it's hard for some people to do well with all the stuff they have living in a car.
Biscuits and tea.
Suburban school worker charged with stealing $1.5 million worth of chicken wings from district.
Whoa. Chicken wings are expensive nowadays.
They are. So
how does
this happen is what you're asking? So pretty much
sure.
How this happened was during COVID, the schools kept getting all the food sent to them, and then parents could like pick it up, and while the kids are studying at home, and the parents could come pick up their lunch and then bring it to them. But obviously not everyone's going to come and do that. And she was just, what was it? She took like...
Was it over like 10 years or what?
No, this was over COVID.
Okay.
This was literally all over COVID. So yeah, court records accused
a lot of
Liddell of ordering more than 11,000 cases of chicken wings from the school district food provider, then picking up the order in a district cargo van. The food was never brought to the school or provided to the students. So she would just go pick up.
What were the students eating?
They were all at home.
Granola bars?
Whatever they had at home, I guess.
Why was it being delivered to the school if the kids were at home?
Because they tried setting something up where the parents could like come pick up lunch at the school. Like if they didn't have, I guess if you didn't have money to like get food, you could still come and get food for your kids at school. But not every, like obviously I would assume most parents during lunch, especially ones that can't afford food, are working in the middle of the day.
Chicken wings?
It was chicken wings.
Do they serve it every day? Like, how do you steal $1 million worth of chicken wings over 2 years?
Obviously not successfully because she got caught. So I think it was, she would go pick up, and the people, I guess she must be in charge of all of this, and no one was just checking on anything, just because I'm sure during COVID they had bigger things to worry about than what their school was ordering. And then the scheme was uncovered by the district's business manager during a routine mid-year audit. The manager found the district was $300,000 over its annual food service budget, despite only being halfway through the school year. so obviously, like whatever she was doing it was just very short-sighted. Like I think it was just some logistics error between the school.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like for the whole district or something. I'm just like trying to understand
how it's that much food,
how much chicken. Yeah,
but
how much chicken?
Is this not like one of those hospital things where they charge you $3,000 for an X-ray? Do the chicken wings cost? Are these the expensive chicken wings for the school?
She buys a case of 100 chicken wings for $5, and then they're doing the police drug rate thing where they charge each one like it's one from Bangchan. Like it's a $1 piece of like a chicken drumstick each one.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard.
I mean, that's what like the cops will seize like a kilo of cocaine, and then their street value they'll say is they'll go on like selling it a gram at a time, and like the highest residential area of the state. They're like, this was $3 billion of cocaine.
Mil. Well, good for, I'm glad they caught it. Good thing we have accountants. Good thing we have audits. That's what it's for.
So I don't know what she's going to get. She's in custody at the Cook County. That's pretty ironic. She's in custody at the jail with $150,000 bonds.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Okay, yeah. So the district consists of 5 schools. Records indicate the district's total enrollment is 1,600 children, with more than 80% of the students qualifying as low income. So I don't know exactly how that's set up, where how the parents of low income kids aren't free at noon or 1 to go pick up lunch.
They're also probably just running around. This is Southside Chicago, dude. So they're doing whatever they want to during COVID. It probably wasn't very much.
Stimulus checks and unemployment.
The height of COVID, they're probably just whatever. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, until we bring. This is probably going to get us, deplatformed and canceled. But some interesting news came out about Pfizer last week. I don't know if you guys caught that one.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I might as well. I mean, rather than spread misinformation, I better, just pull it up for you guys so you guys are aware what happened. So there's this company called Project Veritas. They'll go around with these big companies, and they have a YouTube channel, and so they'll find people from, say, Amazon or some Pfizer, any of these big massive companies. They have a lot of political people too, and they will do hidden camera investigation. They'll invite these people to dinner. Someone will invite them to dinner, and they'll record the conversation where the person doesn't know that they're being recorded. However, the person will be saying shit that what. We're poisoning the water over there, and it's they're fine, stuff like that, And so there was a Pfizer, I forget his. There's a video of a Pfizer employee. Let's just see what happens. It's short. So how much do we know? All right, there we go. Can you guys see this?
Pfizer ultimately is thinking about mutating COVID? Well, that is not what we say to the public. No.
Jeez, Look at Riverside.
Recently, this video has caught a lot of attention. In it, a so-called Pfizer director was approached by an undercover journalist from Project Veritas. According to this Pfizer staffer, COVID-19 has been a cash cow for the company, and he even claims they are researching gain-of-function mutations to make new variants for producing the vaccines.
You're not supposed to do gain-of-function research with the viruses, they recommend not. But you do these selected directional mutations to try to see if you can make more potent.
All right, so basically, and rather than listen to here, they're not supposed to talk about this, but they're potentially thinking about them also mutating. What he goes on to say is, we could mutate the COVID. We could mutate COVID as a strain of COVID, and then we can engineer the vaccine for it and then sell that. So instead of obviously COVID, the virus obviously having its own whatever, it's mutations. Viruses mutate, right, as they go through. They're having discussions about mutating the virus themselves and then offering up the solution. It would be, so you look like you're confused, but they would be taking, do you understand what they're doing?
Yeah.
It's just money. It's just money. So if anyone has any weird conspiracy thoughts about whatever is going on, the only thing that they're being driven by is, we basically solved COVID's under control, right, to a certain extent. But if we just, if we just give you a little variant that's a little different, we can then pump out a solution for that. And then doctors, then hospitals, then everyone has to pay for this, and we can continue our cash cow. So that's come out. And there's a few more. I mean, it's 2 minutes. This is not necessarily what we want to get into. And also, I don't want us to get flagged for the stupid COVID thing.
Director of Research and Development, Strategic Operations, and mRNA Scientific Planning. Okay. Well, that's concerning.
I know. It's concerning. Yeah. I mean, it is and it isn't, because it's just they're a pharmaceutical company making money. And if you guys want to go look at what's been going on with pharmaceutical companies and money, it's all the information is there. This is not new. This is not a COVID
get
conspiracy.
Sick to make money, right?
What are we, I don't know. Listen, we could divert some of our budget, as we've talked about previously, from the military to give us free healthcare. But I don't think that's going to happen. So, hey. But if I've got a good segue, unless Tyler, you have something.
I'm just done with COVID. I just don't care anymore about like any COVID news. It's been like for like 6-7 months. I just don't care about COVID.
Sorry. Well, Pfizer wants to make sure that you.
I can't even get COVID, so I don't even need the vaccine. They can mutate that as much as they want. I cannot get COVID. It?
All right. Well, maybe we need to take your blood.
For a price.
Yeah. Pfizer's got plenty of money. We'll use you as our guinea pig. You're never going to see the light of day again because they're just going to keep pumping you.
They can just come pick me up in one of their little helicopters that fly right by us, going to the Pentagon, and I'll just hop on.
Yeah.
Like actually, we're not. Maybe I know Joe's going to interrupt one of these podcasts one day. He's just flying by.
Yeah,
they actually do like in this. So on the 7th floor, the helicopters going to the Pentagon is probably like a half mile away. It's like they just fly like eye level, right through our window, like by our windows. It's actually kind of dope. Yeah, just helicopters all the time, just cruising around.
That's nuts. That is really.
Don't know how I feel about that. I like the clean airways, open prairies, and the green grass and silence out here in the beautiful Midwest.
Tyler, I guess you're going to close us out.
B team, comment down below.